Hey everybody, welcome to my channel where I am doing honest reviews of everything that has to do with firearms, firearms safety, features, and in this case scenario, my last video was on my SIG P365 X Macro, which I love to death and would absolutely encourage you to go buy. Once again, I'm not endorsed by any of these companies. I just really love it, and so I want to share that with y'all. Today I want to talk about this. This is the Hornady or Hornady, depending on where you live and how everybody says it, whatever. This is their biometric security box. It's a single gun security box, and it has three-way security, meaning you have a code up top here. There's a key. You can see the key there. Or I'm sorry, you can see where the key goes. I didn't bring out my key for this. And then it's got a place for your fingerprint. I'm happy with this purchase overall. This thing ran, I think, a little under 300 bucks. I bought it at Academy, and I do love it. I wanna say that the biometrics are not as good as I was hoping they would be. The cool thing is I think you can do up to 5 fingerprints. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments. But me, my wife, and my daughter can all access this, and it's single code. So although I can do 5 fingerprints or whatever it happens to be, it is single code. The code is awesome. I have never punched in the code and it didn't take it, which I know that might seem like an obvious thing. You should absolutely try it with everything. Don't just assume that you're going to punch it in quicker than normal and it's going to do the exact same thing as last time. So, for instance, pretty quick. My not quite full-sized X Macro fits in here beautifully, comfortably. If you're running like a Glock, full-size Glock, it's going to fit in here comfortably. If you have a rail light, if you have tack on the top, it's absolutely going to be perfect for that. However, I will say, and I'll show you here, this, I'm reaching far in there. I still have that far that I could, put something in there. Light, your tack light maybe runs, that far off of the barrel of your gun. Maybe this is, going to work well for you. You're not going to fit even 2 small pistols in here. There's no way. And I usually don't even keep my extra mags inside here unless I'm traveling. Because if you do that, what you're going to run into is you're going to grab half a gun, half a magazine doing that. My suggestion would be don't put your extra mag in there, put it beside it. If I had to say one thing that I genuinely, or 2 things that I genuinely dislike about this specific safe is the biometrics they're honestly not the best. Now, I work with my hands every day. It's very possible that a lot of the reason that it's not working well for me is because I've rubbed so much of my finger off with shovels and chainsaws and everything else, using that every day. However, if you're going to run biometrics, I think maybe, unless I'm fully misunderstanding, they should be able to account for that. It should be smart enough to detect it, detect your fingerprint with all that. The other thing is, right here, you see this clasp? This thing is really, really sturdy. You can drop this thing. I've dropped this thing out of the car so many times. I actually had to clean it for this video because this thing is a beater. It's awesome. But if you're going to buy this safe, run drills with it, because I'm telling you, you're going to hit that trying to run, like grab in the dark. Batteries are up in here. You reach up in there about 2 inches and you can feel it. They're really easy to replace, unless you're stupid like me. And, you know, it takes you half an hour by yourself, and then your wife shows you how to do it. Programming this thing is easy. Hornady actually has all of their models easily accessible online. You can go online on their website and search it. If I were to buy it all over again, I would probably get their box safe. It's quite a bit bigger. I do wish that I had just saved a little more and got that. However, I'm not entirely unhappy with this safe. People have a good point with the stop box. These things can fail. The key, obviously, actually using a physical key is a way to kind of mitigate that issue. However, the whole point is the code is quicker than a key. It is. The code is also quicker than the biometrics. When the biometrics are working well, and they do work better for my wife, I'll give them that. The biometrics are always going to take another few milliseconds than punching in the code. When I punch in the code, it's instant. And I'll show you the difference, and you can sit here and time this for yourself. That's instant, immediate. Now watch what happens when I do the biometrics. In order to do the biometrics, I can't just slap my finger down on there. I gotta hit a button. No, it didn't like that. Imagine somebody's breaking into your house right now. You see that? The margin for error is, I mean, it's there, man. You gotta be really sure that this is what you want. And so I would say I never use anything but the code. I have the key, obviously. I have it close by, but I'm never going to use it. I would say that the button placement for the numbers, easy. It's not too close so that you're accidentally hitting a button you're not meaning to hit. They're not so far away that in the dark and you're reaching over and, oh, what's going on? You can absolutely feel it. I heard something go bump in the night, and I mean, it couldn't have been more than 10 seconds. I was out of my room with my gun, sweeping the house, and I never had to think about it. I don't remember punching in the code, but I know that's what I would have done. That's what I always do, and it was just, it's there. So if you're gonna get it, focus on the code. I can easily put my SIG in here and put an extra mag. If I'm traveling, I'll put 2-3 extra bags. But once I get to the hotel, I'm a musician and I travel for some of my shows, stay at a hotel, Airbnb, whatever I'm going to do. I'm never putting my mag in here. It's going to slow me down. It's going to trip me up. If I were you, I would absolutely just, boom, set it next to it. Set it where you know where it is for this specific model. Another thing that I would say is this thing is not super heavy. The batteries last a long time. But overall, I'm going to give this thing maybe a 7. I do like it, but there's just some things that I don't like. If you're looking for something that has a little more security, is a little bigger than the stop box, and you can store other things in it as well. We store documents in it as well if we're traveling. But like I said, you're gonna get tripped up by a couple of things. Biometrics, this little sucker right here.
Other than that, this thing is great. Listen, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would like it, subscribe, drop a comment. Those things would be greatly appreciated. I'm not doing this professionally. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. And I would just love to see that this is helping you out. That ultimately it's entertaining for you and that you enjoy it. So anyways, until next time.